How's it going, guys? I'm an avid herpetologist. Welcome back to the channel. I have not done any kind of spoiler reviews in quite a while just because, quite frankly, they're a bit of a headache to keep up with. Spoilers are constantly coming down the funnel, but you know I had to make a video talking about today's spoilers. So back when I first made this channel, a long time ago, about a year, I actually made a video with my top 5 wish list for Digimon TCG support. And we've actually gotten now 3 of the 5 things that I was hoping for. We've gotten Fanglongmon support as of EX5. We're now getting Dark Master support coming out in BT15, and also in BT15, our prayers have been answered and Machinedramon players are going to be eating good. We are getting some lower end support for Machinedramon as an archetype in BT15. Now, we're definitely going to have a lot to talk about today. So we're going to go through everything that was spoiled this morning. We may actually get more Machinedramon support as set spoilers come out, but to begin with, let's just talk about what we've received today, because it is very exciting. So we've gotten a Digimon for every level of the Digivolution line, which is exactly what I was hoping for. We have a new Hagurumon, a new Gigadramon, we've got a new Gigadramon, and of course we do have a brand new Machinedramon to support the Dark Masters archetype. Most of the cards from these reveals are very strong, and they're going to be excellent additions to the deck. We're going to go through each one of them, and I'm going to give my thoughts and just kind of see where this deck is likely to be going from here. To begin with, we got to talk about Hagurumon. Now, we're going to stop and just pause to admire the artwork on all of these. I'm just one of those guys. The artwork for this game is absolutely fantastic, and I do think players should pause to appreciate just how great the artwork is. These cards are definitely no exception. I love this artwork for Hagurumon with the face splitting open. Now, Hagurumon is a godsend for the Machinedramon archetype. It's 3 to play, 1000 DP. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck to add any card with the Machine or Cyborg trait, and a Black Tamer card among them to your hand. The rest go to the bottom, and it has the inheritable for Reboot. Now, Reboot is not the most impactful inheritable of all time, but it's definitely a nice convenience to have for Machinedramon, especially with a lot of blocker inheritables to be found. This Agrumon is basically just an extra searcher, which the deck has been greatly in need of. Consistency has been one of the deck's biggest concerns, even while we are getting loads and loads of support with Chaosdramon X Antibody, and all sorts of other things the last couple of sets. So this Agurumon is just the first of a few consistency engine pieces we are going to be receiving in BT15, and it is a powerful one. I love that this Agurumon is incentivized to either be on-played or Digivolve, since it actually has a useful inheritable, unlike EX1 Hagurumon. Now, this Hagurumon is going back to a playstyle that I really complimented a lot as we've been going through the sets all the way up until EX3, BT10, BT11, where it's playing around all Machine and Cyborgs, meaning that if you are playing Machine and Cyborgs in your lower level spots, your level 3s and 4s, you're still going to be able to add those to hand. They aren't just dead cards. Now, of course, Machinedramon has plenty of cards that it can play in those spots that are not under that umbrella, things like Promoson Rhizomon, BT7 Dorumon. We have Jazzardmon from EX3 that has seen a lot of success. All of these are cards that are great for the archetype that are not Machine or Cyborg, and as such are not going to be able to benefit from a lot of these Machine or Cyborg effects. But that's okay. There are still plenty of other cards that are Machine or Cyborgs that are able to fall under this umbrella, and I think now with a lot of this newer support, the deck is going to be more incentivized to switch back into playing strictly Machines and Cyborgs, and it finally has the tools to be doing that. Hagurumon is a great first step. Now, we also have Gigadramon here. Gigadramon, I think, is actually the weakest card in our support line. It is 5 to play, 5000 DP, has blocker, of course, as Gigadramon often does. On play, or when Digivolving, by trashing a card with Machine or Cyborg in your hand, one of your Digimon can't be deleted by your opponent's effects until the end of your opponent's turn. Then on your turn, while your opponent has no Digimon, this Digimon cannot attack. And again, it has that Reboot inheritable. They really go all in on the Reboot with this new support, but that's okay. So this Gigadramon is okay, but I don't think it's great. The level 4 slots are actually one of the more competitive spots in Machinedramon decks these days. I already mentioned a couple of different cards that are competing for spots there. Things like EX3 Jazzardmon. We also have Hover Espimon that's going to be coming out soon. Promo Raremon. So there are a lot of really strong cards that are already available in this slot, not even mentioning EX1 Gigadramon. Now again, the effect isn't bad. The effect to trash a card from your hand, Machine or Cyborg, to prevent deletion isn't terrible. The problem, though, is that deletion-based removal isn't the only kind of removal out there, as we, of course, keenly know with EX1 Machinedramon. That's why EX1 Machinedramon isn't a complete bulwark, is because it's able to be bounced to hand, tucked to deck, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of things that this Gigadramon is not going to protect against. Since it's going to be discarding a card from your hand and not actually gaining you any card advantage back, like cards such as EX1 Gigadramon or Gigadramon. I'm not really super high on this card. If sideboards become a thing in the TCG or the Digimon card game as a whole, I could see this card seeing some sideboard play if nothing else, but without certainty that deletion protection is absolutely what you need, I don't think this card is super great. I think Hover Espimon is probably better than this card in a vacuum, but who knows? Maybe this card will wind up at seeing at least some play. It is kind of nice that this Digimon is able to attack under certain circumstances. They made it conditional, but at least it's able to attack, which EX1 Gigadramon is not able to do. But like I said, there are a lot of very strong cards you can play in your level 4 slots, so I don't necessarily know if this Gigadramon is going to be absolutely like the end-all be-all. I don't know if it's going to see play or not, but at least it's there. It's nice to have at least some more named Machine Cyborg support. Now we're going to come up on the big names. Of course, we have a brand new Machinedramon for the Dark Masters archetype, as well as a new Gigadramon. Again, gotta pause for the artwork. This Gigadramon artwork is just fantastic. It's so cool looking. Big fan there. Machinedramon as well. I wish this Machinedramon was a little more playable in the Machinedramon archetype, if not just so that artwork can be in my hand to look at, but not super great. Well, we will talk about it. It's at least playable in that archetype, but of course it's made more for the Dark Masters archetype. We'll get to that. So Gigadramon is 6 to play, 6,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. You can add any 2 level 6 or higher Digimon cards from among them to your hand, return the rest to the bottom. At the end of your turn, by deleting one of your Digimon, you may play one Digimon card with a Dark Master's trait from your hand to an empty space in your breeding area without paying the cost, and it has a reboot inheritable. So there's a lot to talk about with this effect. First and foremost, the number one thing we have not received as of this video yet is an errata to the previous copies of the Dark Master cards to give them the Dark Master's trait. It's kind of been a running gag that none of the Dark Masters up until this point have had the Dark Master's trait, which is very weird because the first couple of sets we had Omnimon with the Royal Knights trait, we had in just BT2 a Machinedramon with 4 Great Dragons. So it's very weird that they didn't give the Dark Master's trait to the early iterations of Machinedramon, Metal Seedramon, Piedmon, and Puppetmon. So whether or not we get any errata to change the traits of the old Machinedramons, we're going to have to wait and see. But let's assume that that is going to happen just for the sake of this video. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. So the effect of this Gigadramon is fantastic. Machinedramon is an archetype with a lot of level 6s and wants to see multiple different kinds of level 6s. We've got, of course, our Machinedramons, Chaosdramons, and Chaosdramon X antibodies. So there's a lot that we're going to be digging for. So this Gigadramon being able to find not just 1, but 2 different level 6s is fantastic. This is the kind of effect that this deck has wanted for so long, and on a 6 to play body is really not that backbreaking. If your opponent has a memory setter, you can easily play this on 3 memory and not feel bad about it. But even on top of that, the end of turn effect to delete this Digimon, or any of your Digimon, even better, you can delete any of the other Digimon you have in play to put a Dark Master's trait Digimon into your breeding area. If we get that errata on our BT11 Machinedras, EX1 Machinedras, we can put those into our raising area and still potentially have a body in our battle area for the next turn. That is a lot of potential follow-up that our opponent now has to play around. So especially if we can do that, we're basically guaranteed a Chaosdramon on the next turn, which of course brings with it that ultimate flare effect to triple D Digivolve. That's a lot, and your opponent's not going to be able to interact with it because it's in your breeding area. This is a fantastic effect. I am so happy that this ended up happening and we got this card. It is going to be a massive consistency boost for the deck. One of the best cards the deck has access to, but not the best, and we'll talk about the best that I consider in a minute. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the new Machinedramon. So the new Machinedramon, going in line with the other Dark Masters cards, is 11 to play, 11,000 DP, has an on play or when attacking effect to de-Digivolve to one of your opponent's Digimon, which is actually pretty solid. Your turn, this Digimon can only Digivolve into a white Digimon. This is where kind of the problems are going to be coming into play, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. At the end of the opponent's turn, delete this Digimon. Then you can play any Digimon with the Dark Master's trait other than Machinedramon from your hand without paying the cost. It still has that reboot inheritable, which I think is very funny. So this card is very clearly geared for the Dark Master's archetype. It is not meant to be played with Machinedramon, but technically speaking, it still can be. So basically, this Machinedramon, the way that current Machinedramon archetypes are going to want to use this is by getting it into the raising area so you can Digivolve on top of it, or by tucking it under your sources with BT11 Machinedramon or Chaosdramon X antibodies effects. I'm not super big on this particular playstyle. I don't think it's really worth it personally. I think the current suit of 4 level 6s that we have, EX1 Machinedra, BT11 Machinedra, EX3 Chaos, and Chaosdramon X, is already plenty powerful. I don't think the deck needs the potential brick of playing this card. Even though you can play it to your raising area with Gigadramon, I don't necessarily think that is worth it. The effect of on play when attacking means that if you get this under a Chaosdramon X, you will get benefit from that when attacking effect. But again, how much do you really need that? When you're going into Chaosdramon X antibody, most of the time it's going to be over an EX3 Chaosdramon. You are already de-digivolving 3 on something, and in my experiences, that's been plenty. I haven't really found myself wanting to do more than one de-digivolve in the same turn. One usually is plenty. So I'm not super big on that card in the Machinedramon archetype, but it is technically playable. But also keep in mind that if you are going to be tucking this with, for instance, Chaosdramon X's at the start of your main phase effect, I don't know. I feel like that could very easily and would rather be just another level 5, which are probably going to have better inheritables than what you're going to be getting. And in my experiences, again, when you are attacking with Chaosdramon X antibody, if it has already lasted a turn, you can do a lot more than just de-digivolve to one of your opponent's Digimon. So it's not really for me necessarily. This card may see some amounts of play in Machinedramon, but because it has the restriction to not be able to Digivolve on your turn into a Chaosdramon, I don't think it's going to be fantastic. Though I do think it's funny to mention that if your Chaosdramon X has this in sources and gets to the end of your opponent's turn, it will attempt to delete itself. So if you can save it, you do get to trash an opponent's security. And I don't know, that's just a funny interaction. But yeah, Machinedramon is beautiful, fantastic artwork, 10 out of 10, but not super great for Machinedramon archetype, but that's okay. The last card we're going to talk about, and the one I have the most to say, absolutely makes up for it. We are talking about a brand new engine for this deck. The last card we have to talk about is Supreme Connection. Guys, if I was to make on my laptop a Machinedramon card that I wanted to design to help the archetype, I don't know that I could make one better than this. This card is incredible. It is 3 to play. Main, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with the Machine or Cyborg trait among them to your hand, and trash a card with the Machine or Cyborg trait among them. Then return the rest to the top of your deck and put this card in your battle area. It has the delay effect where you can play 1 level 5 or higher Digimon card with the Machine or Cyborg trait from your hand with the cost reduced by 3. It also brings the same security effect where you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add a card with the Machine or Cyborg trait to your hand, trash a card with Machine or Cyborg, return the rest to the top, and then again place this card into the battle area. This card is basically a massively upgraded Black Memory boost. It has the same cost, but it checks an extra card, letting you look at 5 cards, and it solves some of the biggest issues that Black Memory boost has had with Machinedramon. First of all, being able to add any Machine or Cyborg trait among them to your hand means you can finally add to your hand or trash your non-black cyborgs. So your BT1 Metal Greymons, your EX1 Megadramons, your EX1 Metal Greymons, they are all now able to be interacted with, unlike your Black Memory boost. But the other very, very important boost that this card has is when you are looking at those 5 cards. Let's say that you're playing a Black Memory boost, which, as again, I've had plenty of experience using Black Memory boost. There are some problems with it. Let's say that I'm in need of a level 6, but I'm also, of course, going to be revealing valuable level 5s that I can't afford to bottom deck. Well, now you have to choose. Do you not want to see those inheritables, or do you want to skip out on that level 6 and hope you get another one? You don't have to choose anymore. If I'm in need of a particular level, I can now activate this card, grab the level that I need, and still potentially trash some of those valuable inheritables that I want to be seeing without having to put them all in the bottom of the deck. Even a step beyond that, the other big benefit this has over Memory Boost is the cards don't go to the bottom. This has so many powerful implications. It means that we are not bottom decking our analog men. It means that if we do see cards that we can't afford to trash or add to hand in that effect, we don't have to get rid of them right away. It means that if we have an analog man in play and we see a level 5, we can set that level 5 into a position where we draw it next. So we have an immediate card to pitch to our analog men on the next turn. There are so many benefits to this card's just primary effect before we even talk about the fact that it has a delay on top of this incredible benefit. But the delay itself is also incredible. Play any level 5 or higher. I've talked about a lot in my other videos how much I like when these effects become diversified. They don't pigeonhole you to one specific card type. Like, This could very easily have just been play any level 5 machine from your hand, and it still would have been decently playable. But the fact that you can play any level 5 or higher machine or cyborg, reduced by 3 means you can drop your level 5s and get powerful on plays that way through BT11 Metal Tyranno or your new Gigadramons. Like, there's so much to do with it. And worst case scenario is you can play an EX1 Machinedramon from your hand for 4 memory. That is incredible. We're talking about like Ace Digimon levels of power. Like, that's amazing. I'm so incredibly happy with this card. And because they did make it so diverse, I've seen a lot of memes already circulating online about how many different rogue decks are interested in also playing this. Think about how this card could affect decks like D Brigade, where you can like manipulate the top of your deck to arrange the Commandramon that you want to hit. It can put cards in your trash for Darkdramon. It can let you play out cards from your hand for cheaper, like Darkdramon or the new Cargodramon that's around the corner in BT14. Justamon can make good use of this. Raidenmon can make good use of this. There are so many applications for this card. It is 100% going to be a new build around for this deck. It is just that powerful. This is a massive consistency boost, a speed boost, and a power boost for Machinedramon, and I am over the moon excited for this card. It is absolutely going to be worth it. Already my gears have kind of been turning with how we can potentially be kind of rearranging Machinedramon ratios to really benefit the most from this card. I'm already thinking I'm probably going to be cutting some of my level 3s and 4s just because now that we have this card, we can easily run this as 3 or 4-ups and just rotate the deck around this. We can hard play our 5s and 6s much more reliably, much cheaper. It's just... oh, guys, it's such a good card. Like, my Machinedramon brethren out there, I know you guys are just as excited as I am for these new cards. I am just super, super excited. I cannot wait to start brewing lists with this new support. But yeah, with that, guys, I wanted to go over all of these. Like I said, I know you guys are excited as I am. I had to talk about these cards. So thank you all again for joining me for another quick little spoiler video. I am an avid herpetologist. If you guys like what you see, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I am so incredibly grateful to you guys. In just over a year, this channel has somehow managed to accumulate over 600 subscribers. I am so grateful to you guys. So thank you for the continued support. I hope you guys are enjoying the content, and yeah, stick around and don't miss my next upload. With that, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.